TikTok and what's going on Facebook and YouTube. This is Ruben Escalona with another live stream of Behind the X's and O's. We're getting started a few minutes early just to make sure that we got everything done and ready to go for our guest that's coming on here in the next few minutes. If you haven't noticed the post that that I sent out a few, and we're having our friend and longtime Red Alpha supporter Michael Casillas with Greybeard Entertainment. He's going to join us here in the next few minutes, and we're just going to have we're just going to riff like Michael says. We don't have any scripts. We're just going to have a real talk about what goes on in the local live music scene. From Michael's perspective, he's been doing this for a long time. I mean, I think I've known Mike for, I don't know, about 10 years easily, right? And so he's been a long time supporter of Red Alpha Custom Prints, a customer who has become friends. And so I was like, who should I schedule for our next live stream? And Mike was at the top of the list. He was willing to come on board and just chat with me and kind of like we used to say, chop it up, right? If you're on TikTok, my wife is trying to figure out how to put the audience link, our Riverside audience link, so that you guys can click on the link and then you can be part of our live audience, right? Because if you're in TikTok, you can probably see me, but you won't be able to see Mike. But if you join through the audience link of Riverside, you should be able to see both of us, and then you guys can chat. You can send messages through the chat. My wife is the producer. She's over there, so she'll be able to respond. And I got some live chats, and I can actually see it here too. But I'm gonna be too busy talking, and so I may not be able to look down at the chat and get to you right away. But I will see it come across my screen once my wife looks at it and make sure that it's not someone who's you know trying to play around and just make sure it's someone legit. And then we'll field the question. I'll answer the question. If you guys know Mike Casillas and you have a question that you'd like to ask, send that through the chat as well, and then I'll make sure that I ask him if for whatever reason we can't see that. If you're on TikTok, the only way that I'm going to be able to see these is if you go through the Riverside app so that I can see your questions. Otherwise, if it's a question that you have that I can respond afterwards, then I'll do so. But if you want to be part of the live audience, join the link. You should have seen a post, especially if you're on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm pretty sure even TikTok should have had it. If not, you're hearing it right now. Check, within the post, and if you can see it, yeah, there it is. My wife right there. She put the link right there. So scroll up and click on that, and then send us a message. Let us know that you're coming in from TikTok, because I want to make sure that TikTok is getting in on the conversation. We got folks from YouTube, hopefully, that are following us and that are following Mike, and you never know who's actually scrolling right now and says, "Let me see what these two guys are going to end up talking about," and we'll go from there. And speaking of the devil, Mr. Mike just clicked on. Mike, what's going on, man?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I was just talking about you. Were your ears ringing?
I was just trying to. I didn't realize the link you sent me was one that I had to set up an app for. I was like, oh, let's
Oh
go ahead and
yeah,
knock it out.
yeah. For $5.99, you got to set up the app. No, I'm joking. It should have been free. But yeah, I was kind of
Gotcha,
introducing.
gotcha.
I was kind of introducing everybody who might be listening. I'm also broadcasting to TikTok, and as you know, on TikTok, anytime you go live, it could be anybody from anywhere. Like I'm seeing people just as they come in and come out, and so that's pretty cool. Uh, I haven't been able to figure out how to connect it to the Riverside app yet. And I think I just need to get my followers up
Yeah.
or something, you know. So hopefully, pretty soon we'll be able to get that get it all connected to this Riverside app, so I don't have to look at the phone over here and then look down here at the camera that I have connected here to my laptop. But so what's going on these days, man? I was just telling everybody that you and I've been. I mean, man, I think it was like 10 years ago that we first met, at least 10 years, and I
Been
was
a
just
while, at
telling everybody
least.
that you know you've been a longtime supporter of Red Alpha Custom Prints, so a customer who's become friends, and man, you know it's like you launched Greybeard Entertainment a little over a year ago. Is that correct?
It started probably a little closer to about 3 or 4 years ago. For about the first year, I was just really trying it out, and I wasn't really. Matter of fact, I wasn't taking any commissions on anything I was setting up. For a while, there was a venue on the south side of Abilene that wanted some live music, and I set up probably about 6 months worth of shows for them. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, we'll give it a shot and see if it helps your business and if it helps bring in any people, which it did for a small amount of time. And but they weren't doing a real great job of advertising the live music or really much of anything, either on any kind of social media platform that they had. So it was kind of a moot point. And then I said after a while, said, okay, um, if I'm going to continue to do this, you either have to put me on retainer or something.
Yeah,
And they never really wanted to continue it, so I just went off on my own. So
yeah.
for about 2 or 3 years solid now, I started I started doing it where I set up commissions with musicians that I know or somebody I've never even met, and I just got to be kind of okay at it, pretty decent at it, I guess,
Yeah,
and I've stayed pretty busy with it.
yeah. I can tell, man. I see. You know, you seems like you're booking almost every single day. It seems like. I mean, that's when it's coming up on my feed. I'm like, man, this guy's
Yeah,
he has definitely stepped into his purpose. It seems like, you know, and I mean, it's just some good stuff, man. It's good to kind of watch you go, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
it's a little different. Booking is a different beast. It really is. Most musicians, for those of you who don't know out there, I'm also a musician. But the one thing that most people truly hate is booking their own shows, or booking for other people. It's just a painstakingly arduous task that every musician out there will tell you. They've sent out a dozen inquiries, 2 dozen inquiries, 100 inquiries, and they won't get anything returned as far as the response from a venue. Not a no, not you're not right fit. There's absolutely no response. It's what we call in the business the blow off.
yeah, yeah,
So, but I've managed to kind of work a few tricks um, into booking multiple shows with multiple venues, with multiple artists, because kind of how I got into it, which was when I was helping book for one band that I was in. The the problem I kept running into is that, like everybody wants to book a July 4th show or a New Year's Eve show or some kind of special show, Memorial Day, whatever, because it seems to either have like a bigger crowd, they're going to do something special for it. So what was going on is that I was um, calling, emailing, texting, direct messaging, Facebook or Instagram, dozens of venues at a time. And then I would get the one show that I was looking for. Let's just say it's, June 10th or whatever. Well, all of these responses would come back, and ironically, they were coming back for the same date that I was already trying to book. So I would say, "Oh, I'm very sorry, I'm booked at that moment," and it'd just be dead and done with. And that was an opportunity wasted.
yeah,
And I didn't realize it until it was a little bit too late. And then I started getting smart about it, and I was like talking to my friends that were looking for shows as well, also on the same date I was looking for.
yeah,
And I already knew what the venue was offering. I already had an idea what the package was. So then I would tell the venue, "Hey, what is it you're looking for?" and they would tell me in response country, rock, jazz, whatever. And I have friends in those categories that were looking for shows. And I said, yeah, let's go ahead and book it. Except I wouldn't talk for myself. At that point, I was talking for this person or that person or this person. And then I would a lot of times book the show, not even knowing 100% if that one person I was booking for is 100% available. Because
Hmm.
if they weren't, I also knew two or three backups.
Yeah.
So I would say, sure, so and so can do it, and they say the terms are agreeable, and then I would send a performance agreement to my guy or gal,
Hmm.
and then I'd start making a little bit of commission off of that, and then I just started steamrolling it from there.
Yeah.
Where not only was I booking for my own bands, but I started booking for other people's bands or solos or duos, or
Hmm.
where people were just having trouble making connections, and I already had the link.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the hardest part is making contact with somebody because you don't know if you're dealing with a manager, an owner, a bartender,
Yeah.
someone's wife, you know, and
Yeah.
then that person, and you just, or that, and that person's um, maybe not there in 3 months, and all of the effort you put into that one person is gone now.
Yeah.
And by me constantly following up and trying to get these venues to give me a shot, I would start getting all of these names and I start getting all of these opportunities to get my foot in the door. Once I had my foot in the door, I was like, oh, hey, remember I told you about this guy or this girl or whoever? And instead of booking just one show for me and walking away, I booked one show for me, one for this guy, one for that guy, because I knew they had all of these dates available. They gave me a list of 6 dates, but I can only perform one of them.
Yeah.
So I said, well, let's put 5 into these others.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Seems like you developed a
And
system.
that's where it went.
Yeah. And then one thing that,
Yeah, it started being that way. It had to be.
yeah, whenever you came by, I can't remember when it was, but we had a little time to talk, and you were saying, about whenever you work with the venue that you make sure that you take care of your artists, regardless of what the venue is actually going to do. And I thought that that was a cool deal right there
Hmm.
because, you know, uh, just being from the outside, like I'm from the outside, and I'm just kind of my perspective is just shaped from what I see from you and what you and I have talked about, and just other friends that are in the music industry, that kind of deal. But whenever you mentioned that to me, I was like, well, you know, all the musicians, as many as possible, need someone like Mike to kind of be that person that will like go to bat for them, because if a venue decides that they don't want to follow through on their end of the deal, you're the person that's going to make sure that the artists are taken care of, and because of that, I think that
Hmm.
kind of a unique, like a unique deal. You're not just a musician, but you're also someone that can be that representative to them, and then make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah, it's not easy. There's only been a handful of times, and all of the shows I've ever booked where I had to come out of pocket to cover something that a venue decided to welch on or something. It's a gamble sometimes, and technically I don't have to do that. No booking company or booking agent has to cover anything that the venue decides to change their mind on. Usually, there's it's all in writing, and I could easily, go to small claims court or God knows what else. But I mean, the
Yeah,
amount of money we're talking about is so minor that it wouldn't be worth it. It would be drawn out, and then of course you burn a bridge, which sometimes happens anyway. But I've tried to take it upon myself to make sure that if I tell a client or a musician, say, hey, it pays 600 plus tab or 1200 plus tab or whatever it is, no matter what, it's gonna be that period.
yeah,
And luckily thus far the venues I've dealt with all over Texas, some in Oklahoma, some in Louisiana, some wherever else, everybody has been true to their word. Only maybe one or two times here and there that just didn't go quite right.
yeah.
um I had to come out of pocket, which is unfortunate, but I try to be a man of my word.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's where that same conversation came about, and it's something that I need to make sure that we get back on track. But I had talked about, that companies like mine and other small businesses that, are also like really trying to get their name out there and things like that can, for a, like a small amount, just kind of help out. And then it's like every one of your posts says sponsored by Red Alpha. And I mean, I want to thank you for that, man, because you've been consistent, even though I haven't been consistent. You know what I mean? And that's just, I think we sent like one payment or something like that. So let me talk to my accountant to make sure that she gets on the stick about that. But it just means a lot, man. So I mean, at the very least, I'm sharing your post, and I'm like everyone, I'm sharing that, and hopefully that there's someone somewhere that are like, hey, what is this all about? Let me look into it. Whether it's a
Hmm.
company or a musician or a venue or something like that, and they give you a call, and then that can make up for my lack of follow through. But we will get back on track, man. But it just kind of like just that thing. I was like, well, man, maybe small businesses can actually help out with that. Just in case a venue does does go back on their side of the deal. If you have enough businesses that are like sending money your way, just and then you're just giving them a shout out. It's like um, it's kind of a win-win situation if more people would participate.
Well, luckily, if every musician is different as far as how their finances are. Some people survive solely off their music income, whether it be merch, Spotify spins, selling, rights to certain songs, whatever it may be, and that's how they pay their light bill or put food on the table.
Right.
In my case, I don't necessarily do that. It's like a supplemental income.
Yeah.
And so what I do is anything that I make with Greybeard goes into an account, and some is in checking, some is in saving, and there's some that I use. Like say if we go out of town, which I travel outside of town a lot for music, and I use that card or that account to pay for my fuel, pay for my food, whatever else, anything I've made as a drummer or as a booking agent, whatever. And then the other is in savings, and it's we're not talking about thousands of dollars here. We're talking about 500, $600, not much.
Yeah.
But if for some reason, like say a venue welches or something goes sideways, and I'm trying to keep my venue, and I'm also trying to keep my client, and I have to use that money for whatever else. I kind of created like um, a little safety net. That's what I
Right.
try to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and luckily thus far it's worked. Now
Yeah.
back in the day, 10 years ago, definitely music was a part-time job, no question. Because it helped me put food on literally. I mean, I had to put food on the table that way,
Yeah.
and since then it's kind of transitioned to like a little safety net for me.
Yeah. Yeah. We just got a message from Joe Dean. He said, "Here, here," to something you said, and so Joe, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. We got Mike Casillas over here. Just want to let you know, Mike, that Joe sent in a message. He is definitely in agreement with something that you just
Yeah,
said here. Yeah.
yeah.
But it's good to see him, man.
Yeah, well, Joe Dean and I, we've been friends for a very long. Yeah, yeah. Joe Dean and I, we've been friends for a very long time. We've been bandmates in the past. We've played hundreds of shows together. I help him book into certain areas where he has not played, or certain areas where maybe he lost contact with the original person that was helping him get in there. Whatever the case may be, but I've been helping him quite a bit, and he's a hell of a musician. Everywhere he goes, he makes me look good.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
it's
He
a
can
it's a
sing, can he?
win-win.
He can sing, can he? He can
Yeah, he
sing.
sang. He don't do no cute shit. He's singing.
Yeah, he can
Yeah.
sing.
Oh yeah,
That's
he's an amazing guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I see a lot of his stuff, man. I definitely he's actually a customer of ours. We did some stickers for him not too long ago, and we printed some of
Yeah.
his merch. Thanks to you for hooking us
Yeah.
up there, but yeah, man, it's just like we're like a
Yeah.
happy family, man, and like anything that we can do, obviously, to help you guys out. But you've always been there, man, and I'm trying to think of the very first time that we met. I don't even remember like who introduced us uh, or how. we met. It just seems like I've always known
We
you.
met at a we met at a fit camp
Oh
when
yeah,
we met through Charlie and Amy Quinones.
that's right. That's right. I do
That's how we
remember.
met.
That's whenever
And
we met you and your wife, right at a fit camp.
yeah, we're doing like 5 a.m. workouts.
Yes, 24 fit. I remember that. Yeah, because
Yep.
we were wearing some shirts that said the Alpha Rojos or something like that. That's whenever I had
Yeah.
that Raglan shirt. Well, we'd wear different shirts out there, but oh yeah, I do remember that. Was it at the park or was it? Because
Yeah.
they done it a couple
Yeah.
different.
Well, the park and the YMCA gym.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The park and the YMCA gym.
yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot. Like I said, we were doing 5 a.m. workouts, and they were just doing those fit camps,
Hmm.
and that's where we met, and been basically been friends since.
Yeah, and neither one of us is stuck to the fitness or urban life or nothing, man. We're about that cheap life.
Oh my God. I could ramble on and on about fitness and the lack thereof, but I think you've done a far better job keeping in better shape than I have, even though our schedules are normally very, very crazy. Like I said, I think you've done a better job of it.
Well, I don't know about that, man. It's hard. I'm trying to get to the gym, and it's like, I keep telling myself that I'm better than this, and it's like, it's man. Once you fall off, it's hard to get back in. And I've been trying. I think I'm back like maybe 3 weeks now to where I've been going to the gym. I'm not gonna say consistently. One week it's like twice. One week I went 4 times, and then once. So it's at least I'm going. But man, trying to get back consistent to where I was like 7 years ago. We were going almost every day, my wife and I, and now we're just kind of like, you know, we're not as good as we used to be, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, I was doing pretty good for a little while there.
oh yeah, that's right, you were.
Yeah,
What happened?
well, two things happened towards the end of May, or during May was a very busy month for me as far as getting out there and performing, and that's also when we went to the Kinfolk Band and I. We went to Louisiana, and we wound up doing several shows back to back towards the end of May. And then I got a pretty bad respiratory infection, I guess, like everybody else in Texas at that same time.
Hmm.
And I mean, I just couldn't shake it for about 3 weeks. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and take some time off to kind of heal. And then, of course, like you know as well as I do, oh, you know about this, but I've got knee injuries that aren't going away,
Yeah.
and I was reading up. I've been reading up a lot on it, and they're saying with meniscus tears, you have to rest. And I'm in the gym 3 or 4 times a week trying to make my legs stronger, and all I'm doing is making my knees hurt more.
Hmm.
So I'm going back in here soon. It's just that I was trying to give myself an honest month of as minimal uh, movement as possible, just because I'm a heavy guy, and that's a lot of weight on knees that are bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've been taking time off. Now I could have gone in there and done sauna and a few other things, and maybe light stretching, whatever else. I should have done that, but I was just kind of thinking to myself, I need to take some time off to kind of heal in any way possible
Yeah.
because right knee doesn't hurt as bad right now, but the left knee definitely is hurting me.
Mm. I hear that, man. Yeah, I've been there. I've definitely been there, man, and hard road back. But hopefully you'll get healed up and rested up, and you get back in the gym, and both of us will be some swole mofo's here pretty soon. Because one of the gym that I go to, they have this program. It's called the Age Well, and so man, that's been
Yeah,
on my mind lately. As I'm getting older, I'm like, I want to be the type of dude that can still get up and go and play with the grandkids and all that stuff. And I don't want to, have to be the guy that's just watching them and, you know, from a wheelchair or something,
yeah.
And
I watched that segment you did on the bison attacking the grandfather or whatever,
yeah,
and I was laughing not at the guy that this happened to, but I was laughing at myself. I said, I'm sorry. I'm the sacrificial lamb. I'm the fat guy that's gonna get gutted by this big bison. Hopefully my family gets away, but I can keep them busy.
Yeah, you be the sacrifice. Well, I'm like, I tell my wife, I said, all I have to do is just be faster than the slowest person. So I am
Yeah,
not going to be getting hit by no bison. And I don't know if it was going
yeah,
after my wife, I might sacrifice myself, stuff like that. But that was his grandson. His grandson was
yeah,
he
yeah,
long his grandson was nowhere to be found, man. And I was like,
yeah,
man, I mean, at least he could have did something to distract the bison, man. He was, I don't even
yeah,
think he was nowhere to be found. He bolted. It's
yeah. No, if that had been me, man, you'd have found what was left of me on that field somewhere, and hopefully I went out for a right cause.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But
I was seeing,
I was
I
gonna
was
touch
seeing
base
some
on
video.
some. You said or something earlier about if it reaches somebody, what we do. You and I working together, and you talked about that briefly earlier.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what's up?
That's kind of one of the things that for me is very very important. A lot of artists, musicians, they feel that it's a competition, and it's not. I have no trouble sharing if someone starts up a new band, or someone is about to make their big debut, or someone's about to do a CD release party, or someone's pushing merch. You can put that on my page all day long. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm happy to do it. And this right here, it's not even one of mine. This is Cruz Cardenas out of Weatherford, Texas.
uh-huh.
He's a buddy of mine I met in the stockyards through Jimmy, and he's out there. He's a hustler, man. He works all day, laying cement, and he's playing every night. 3, 4, 5 times a week if he can. He just
Yeah,
loves doing it. So anytime that I can support you or anybody else I know, I do it. I got stuff from all kinds of people. Some of them I've never even met.
yeah. Yeah, that's
So that's
awesome, man. That's just you got a gift, man. It's like everybody that you consider a friend. I mean, I see it with my own eyes that you are like a strong supporter of the people that you care about, and and so I'm just honored to be one of those friends. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody, because some guy that he was looking for one of the tip jars that hit me up, and he said, that you had sent him over, and automatically if it's someone that mentions your name, I'm like, I want to take care of them even a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's like, not
yeah,
that I actually do different quality over another person, but it's like whenever I want to make sure that I take care of them, just because of the respect that I have for you, and like I was
thanks.
even, whenever your wife called me with the Better Business Bureau, I told her straight up. I said, uh, it's because of Mike. I said because of Mike. I said, I have one opinion about the Better Business Bureau just from my own personal experience, but and it's not really her because I know her too. I think we met both of y'all at the same time, but obviously
Yeah,
you and I are closer. But I said if it wasn't you, and it wasn't Mike, and it was just someone from the Better Business Bureau, just my personal experience, I probably wouldn't have, because we have gotten calls from other people over the years,
yeah,
and then it's usually just the same thing. But with her, I told her, I said, I'll definitely like listen to, what might be different, and then I'll just kind of be watching, and then hopefully it works out the way that you say it is, with the new CEO and all that stuff, and then
yeah,
well, and then we'll step in whenever we want to. But that's one thing. Whenever we first got in business, man, I was doing all of the stuff. I was the Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Business
yeah,
Council, the ads for Next. I mean, we were like in ministry, and we were just like we were running for mayor or something. And and so it's just one of those things to where it's like, after you've been going for a while, you actually see who like who your real friends are and who your real supporters are,
yeah,
and that's where you kind of separated yourself from a lot of people, because I mean I've known a lot
yeah,
of people as long as I've known you, but a lot of those people are nowhere to be found.
yeah.
That's just
I've always said along.
that's just real, man.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. They said, "Do you want to know if somebody's your real friend?" They're like, "Yeah." So tell them no. Tell them no often. Let's
Yeah.
see if they still support you.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the hardest things to do. Also, like if you're someone who's always wanting to look out for people, and then you're kind of like, I had to develop my own system. So like every November, I said it's November, so that means I'm saying no to everything because I had to train
Hmm.
myself. I had to train myself to say no because I was one of those, those yes men. It's like if
Yeah.
in ministry, if they said, "Hey, can you drive the bus?" Sure, I can drive the bus. Can you teach Sunday school? Yes, I can teach Sunday school. And do you want to be part of this board? Yes, I can be part of this board. And can you help us do this and do that? Yes, I can do that. And it was like, and after a while, it's like, hey, well, somebody say yes to me, and and then so I
Yeah.
had to learn how to say no, and now I'm pretty good at it.
It happens.
I'm really
It
good.
happens.
But man, you mentioned the guy that I didn't know if you wanted to bring up, a good friend of both of ours,
Yeah.
uh, it's I don't know if you want to even go there, but you had said that you met that guy Cardenas
Yeah.
through Jimmy, and uh,
Yeah.
and so man, every time that you make a post and I mean his stuff just seems to pop up still like on YouTube through my memories feed.
Yeah.
Jimmy was one of those guys that was always supportive of our ideas. We've done a lot of stuff for him, printing wise, and with the gyms and all that stuff that he had, and uh, you know, so it's hard not to think of him whenever I'm seeing your posts because it's like there was
Yeah.
a strong connection between you guys, and then it was like I was kind of seeing it from from the outside, But yeah,
Yeah. I don't talk about him too much. I get too emotional too fast,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's just the truth.
yeah,
I can talk to you about it sometimes because we were so close to him, but I get real emotional real fast because he was a polarizing figure. Some people hated him, some people loved him,
hmm,
and that's just the way it was.
yeah,
And but I've said it before. Without him, there would be no Greybeard.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw that
so
post whenever you did that, man, and it's true. But yeah, so it's like moving on from that, man. It's like you know, you are now doing the gray beard kind of full time, man, and it's something that
yeah,
I always get excited when someone transitions from like a corporate job to like full time business, because I've been there before, and like
yeah,
it's one of those things like it's like if you send somebody to watch Game of Thrones for their very first time, and you're watching their reaction on thinking that the main character is going to survive past season one, and I'm like, that's the way
yeah,
when I see a new business, a new entrepreneur or someone just starting their business, it's like, man, I know exactly what like. I know the emotions you're feeling, but I also know the brick wall that you might be hitting, you might be about to run into here in the near future, and that's kind of the reason why I started this behind the scenes stuff because everybody puts their highlights out on social media.
yeah,
When you ask, how are you doing? It's like I'm always doing good. I'm growing. We're in a growth
yeah,
phase, whatever. But the truth is, man, it's like as soon as the cameras go off, we're sitting here like, hey, we need to
yeah,
follow up with these people and close this business because needs to be taken care of, and that needs to go through. We got to order this material and things like that. And so it's those behind the scenes conversations and situations that most people don't talk about because they don't feel comfortable.
yeah.
And so I wanted to shed some light in the music industry because I guarantee
All
you,
right.
for every person that you have represented, there's other people out there that don't have any representation, and they're like, man, nobody knows how hard it is to be a local musician here in Abilene or in the surrounding cities. And this type of conversation, at least somebody can say, hey, you know what? That guy relates to me. Let me see if I can't link up with him and
Yeah,
make it easier on each other.
yeah. So personally, I cannot represent every single person that has come to me for help or advice or whatever. I just can't. I don't have enough resources to be able to dedicate enough time to every single person who comes in. Now there are some that stick out above the rest, And of course, you've seen quite a few here lately that I've been booking. I've booked for several over the years. Don't get me wrong, but here lately, what it has been a lot of is, you have Joe Dean, you have Cheyenne Pittspan, you have Maxwell Garza, you have Nasty Nate band out of San Angelo, of course my own band. Um, those have been like the top tier for me because they're the ones that are constantly checking in with me,
Mm-hmm.
as far as doing that. Now I've like I said, some people I book maybe one time, and they don't like it or they don't like to paying a commission. I get it. Or they feel like they should have gotten paid more. God knows what. There's a million reasons, and they say, no, I'll go back to doing it myself. And
Yeah.
then, but it's unfortunately it takes too long.
Yeah.
The one thing you won't hear a lot of when it comes to this, and I want to get it to eventually. It'd be kind of nice to be able to do Greybeard as being able to paying all my bills through it. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to deal with extreme highs and lows. There are venues that will cut off their music program mid-year. About five of the top venues I've been dealing with over the last 2 years have closed down or
Yeah.
gotten bought out by somebody.
Yep.
There's been over a dozen in the last 5 years that I dealt with all the time that are all gone now. And then you have to start dealing with proximity. So let's go local. Locally, we don't have a lot of places in Abilene to play music. We
Yeah.
have a few, and everybody has their own rules to everything. Some people want to be dealt with directly. Some people don't mind dealing with an agent. Um, but the problem is there's only 5 to 10 places to play music,
Yeah.
and there's 500 musicians in surrounding counties. They're
Yeah.
all looking for somewhere to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not easy, and it's a saturated market, which is why I travel so much.
Mm-hmm.
So to do that, you have to be willing to do it. And then Abilene, for what it is it's not a small town, but as far as music venue wise, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a reputation, good or bad, it will follow you.
Yeah.
And some people will not, they'll choose not to deal with you. So
Yeah.
I tell all my people, I said, hey, I do it mostly in private text message, or otherwise I'm like, hey, that's not a good post, man. And
Yeah.
they're like, why? I'm like, it's not, it doesn't look good on you.
Yeah.
There's a reason I have at least three to five social media pages because, Mike Casillas might say something that is unpopular, but Greybeard and Kinfolk only talk about music. We only
Yes.
promote music. We only promote our dates. We say, hey, look out for this guy or gal, and
Mm.
they're coming to a place near you, and so on and so forth. But with
Right.
my own personal page, I won't go into too much detail, but you know where I stand politically, you know where I stand religiously, you know where I
Yep.
stand in a lot of ways, and it's usually for common sense and decency. Even though I can be a scoundrel at times, we all are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's that. And when it comes to booking, like I said, with locally, you are dealing with only a handful of places. It didn't used to be that way, but unfortunately, venues come and go, and that's what happens. So when I constantly scour the internet for venues all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and a good way to do that, if you're out there and you're just starting out and you don't know where to look at your friends, find
Yeah.
out where they're playing.
Yeah.
If they don't tag the venue properly, look up the venue, Google it, look up the approximation from your house to that place, reach out to them. I encourage collaborations all the time because so and so may have a regular spot at like the White Elephant in the Stockyards. It's hard to get in there, very hard, even for me.
Yeah.
And if you have a friend that plays there every other Monday, and you say, "Hey, man, I'll go add percussion, no charge, or I'll go do whatever," but you're already on stage.
Yeah.
So now that you're on stage, you have access to this guy or that girl or whomever's booking, or at least
Mm-hmm.
you have your foot literally in the door,
Yeah.
and that will help you. I've done a lot of opening gigs for people, some famous, some not famous,
Mm-hmm.
and those interactions you have with people, number one, act right.
Yeah.
Don't be belligerent. Don't be brutish. Don't be looking for trouble.
Yeah.
You're in this business to get new venues, to make money, to develop relationships, because you never know when you're looking for a special player that can do the job, and they may come in the pinch for you, or you may be looking for somebody specifically for recording,
Yeah.
and you've met that person because of the venue.
Yeah.
So when it comes to both in town and out of town, relationships are very important. Perception is very important.
Hmm.
How you dress, I'm terrible about it. I'm a fat drummer, man. I like t-shirts and shorts and ball caps, and
Yeah.
I have hair, So it's
Yeah.
like it gets people will pick apart everything. Some venues will ask you about your streams or your followers or anything like that, and
Yeah.
then do you have an idea what it takes to make money to be able to go to and from? And they may not see it your way. It doesn't mean that they don't value your product. It's just they just can't unfortunately pay for it. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah. And how can we
So
flip it? How can we flip that script to put like on the venue, right? So like let's just say I'm the owner of a venue, right? And
mhm.
what have you seen that having live music like brings to the table when it comes to a venue? Like if there's someone that might be listening that say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to
Yeah.
open up this new venue. We're gonna have
hmm
food. It's gonna be the atmosphere and things like
hmm
that." And they're not really sold 100% on having live music, or they're just not sure how to go about it. From your experience, what is the like the what is something that the new venue owner should take into consideration
Okay.
when it comes to live music?
So from speaking to as many owners and venue managers out there I've spoken to, you really want to use the rule of thumb of 10% return on investment.
Hmm.
So say your Monday is your busiest night. Typically it's not, but just say it is for whatever reason, and you make 4,000 that day on an average Monday. Okay,
Hmm.
not terrible, not great. You can afford up to $400 for entertainment, because entertainment is strictly a luxury item.
Yeah, yeah,
If you already have a great venue, if you have a great venue, you don't have to sell the band for them to pack your place. You've made it a point to be, that's the spot to be on an average Thursday or Friday or Saturday,
yeah,
or some of these venues that do middle of the week, like on a Wednesday. That's very smart. It's hard to
yeah,
go against the church, but
yeah,
um, as a venue owner, you have to look for where your cost is. A lot of people who get into this business were either musicians at one point in time, are musicians now, so they're fans, and they don't look at the music objectively enough,
yeah,
where there's fans and then there's business,
yeah.
and you have to know what you can afford to do.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of the venues that I've played in the past that were probably the most fun or most well received, depending on what kind of band you're in, they were not probably the best paying shows, but you got to connect with the audience. You probably made more of your money off the audience than you did the venue, or equally as much.
Yeah,
Um, and that's this thing. Now, I've also played venues that pay a lot of money, and then they also have stipulations in the contract, because I signed a lot of contracts about we can't drink before or after or during, or use foul language, or mention politics or religion, or wear uh, torn clothes. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Of course, my guys are instructed on what not to do or what to do, and those venues, they're about as corporate as you get,
yeah,
with the exception of playing for some law firm.
yeah,
But if you play those kinds of venues, they pay great, and they also probably don't treat you that great,
yeah,
because they have the money to do so. So you're a background item. Some people want you to be front and center and
yeah,
want you to help build their crowd, but in reality, musicians are a luxury, and if your business is not built up enough without music, it's not going to be built up enough with music either. So
yeah,
you can't look at failure as in that's, oh, we did poorly because they didn't bring in a good crowd.
yeah,
No, you paid the rate I wanted you to pay, because that's what it took for me to get there,
yeah,
and we did a good job. Unfortunately, not enough people showed up. I've seen great bands bring in nobody, and I've
yeah,
seen half mediocre bands pack a house, because that's
yeah.
kind of how it went that night.
Yeah. Well, I know in the rare time that I go and there happens to be live music, and they're serving alcohol, there's something about live music that makes you,
Hmm.
want to, have a beer or two. You know what I mean? And so if they have that at
Yep.
the venue, live music is going to help. In my opinion, it's going to help you sell some food. It's going to help you sell some beer, and
Correct.
I don't know. I'm just what do I know about it? All I know is whenever I go and
Well, and
any type of entertainment, it just kind of makes you want to indulge a little bit.
yeah, and you're not wrong there. A lot of us too. We will come in from to get set up. We'll go in before we even bring our equipment down. We'll go in, say hi to the management, and talk to everybody, and then we start setting up. And often, almost every time I play somewhere, if someone's got like $2 drafts or whatever it is that they're wanting to push that night, we
Yeah,
mention it about 1,000 times in our set.
yeah,
A lot of musicians are known for that. A lot of musicians in the past got paid premiums to come play venues and circuits because they could get the crowd to drink more.
yeah,
And what you're facing right now, and I don't really know the statistics on it just yet, because I was reading an article about it the other day where liquor companies are reporting all-time lows in sales right now, at least in the U.S.,
hmm,
because a lot of people have given up drinking. I stopped drinking 3 years ago. A lot of my friends stopped drinking either the last year, 2 years, or 3 years, or whatever.
yeah,
And then you find out real quickly you don't have a music scene, you have a drinking scene.
yeah,
So you have to be good at selling something.
yeah.
Whether it's their pasta primavera or God knows what else. It may not be alcohol, but it might be something that they serve
That's right.
that you get them in there in the door for. In reality, you want to work hand in hand, and you want to be able to deliver a good show as a musician. You want to have a good rapport with the venue, and you want to help the venue be successful. Maybe they didn't come there to see you, but
Yep,
they liked you and they stayed,
yep, yep,
and that's important too.
yep,
Um, so that's it. When it comes to venue owners, I've reached out to a few people that, like you were saying earlier, they're wanting to get into live music and they don't know what to do. And I've sat there and I've spoken to several, and some take my advice, some don't, and that's okay. But I said I've seen a lot of venues close down or cut their music program completely off. There's nothing wrong with having a small-ish budget in order to be able to pay people and bring in like a solo artist.
yeah,
There's a lot of people out there that can perform. Joe Dean's one of them. He
yeah,
can sit there by himself on stage and get you singing with him, and get you drinking with him, and get you laughing with him and crying with him,
yeah,
because he has that personality, that touch,
yeah,
and that's one of those things that you have to do as an artist. It's not about going up there and playing songs you like to play or doing what you want to do. It's about connecting with the crowd.
yeah,
It's about giving them something to hold on to. You never know who shows up to that place and had the worst week of their life.
hmm,
And you might have given them a small ray of sunshine in a sea of darkness, man. You just don't know.
yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah, the music is definitely it's something powerful, man. If it's done right, and you can kind of change the atmosphere just with the right song and the right person singing it or playing in the right band playing it, man. I definitely know about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. So I mean, so we talked about the venue. We talked about the scene here in Abilene. Is there anything that maybe we didn't talk that I feel like we just kind of skipped around, bounced around. But is there anything? I mean, you said let's just riff. So I mean, riff
Yeah.
to like I'm just like whatever comes to my mind. But is there anything that maybe we didn't mention that we should talk about when it comes to the local music scene here in Abilene?
I think I touched base on this earlier, and it didn't hurt to kind of retouch it. Just that people don't have to feel like you're in a competition,
Yeah,
whether whether it's this town or any other town. So and so's getting more press. So and so's getting more gigs. So and so's whatever. It's
yeah,
all about hustle, man. I mean, that's when it boils down to it. There are a lot of musicians, like I said earlier. I can't represent everybody. There are a lot of musicians that reach out to me that, let's face it, they're developing their skills. They're not the best.
yeah,
But if you go to their social media page, they're booking a lot,
Huh.
and they're either playing for the minimum, they're playing for tips, they're doing open mics, they're doing something, but they're getting on stage. And the
Yeah.
more you get on stage, the more likely you are to get on stage at other places,
Mm.
and the more likely you are to develop. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And that ought to be another thing too for people. If you go and catch somebody's like, "Oh, I saw him a couple years ago. He sucked," or "I saw her." Da 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 da. Well, yeah, he was learning, man. You
Yeah.
know, give him a break. Go out, and support him again. See what's going to happen. I wish
Yeah.
everybody took the time, because everybody has the time to bitch and moan.
Yeah.
Everybody makes time for that.
Oh yeah.
More people need to go out on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday. There's venues in town that incorporate music with their food on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays here
Mm.
in Abilene. Go
Mm.
out and support, man. If you go out one time a week, go to that one place. You'll be
Yeah.
supporting two things: a
Yeah.
local business and a musician that could probably use some merch sales or tips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, make the time. I mean, I
Yeah.
know we're all overworked. I know we're all tired, but
Hmm.
get out there and go support, man. I buy. Oh my God, I
I
buy
feel
stuff all
guilty.
the time off people. Yeah, I
I
buy stuff
feel
all the
guilty.
time off people. I got friends of mine that perform on TikTok. That's another venue too. People sometimes get tired of getting rejected by a venue, so they go busk on the street. Are you familiar with the term busking?
No, but I think I can.
Okay,
You just go play out on the streets.
basically, I mean, busking is just playing kind of where everywhere. Sometimes you have to get permission from the city, or they have city busking areas like in Austin and Dallas. They have certain designated areas where you can do it, probably so you're safer or you don't get hit by a car or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's places here in Abilene that you can go downtown and do, and there's a lot of businesses are kind of cool. As long as you're polite, and if they ask you to leave, leave. But people can busk out there because they can't get into a venue.
Hmm.
Around here in Abilene, especially, country is king. Okay,
Yeah.
country and Christian is king.
Hmm.
And they go hand in hand. They're almost cut in the same tempo. The words are eerily similar, and the style delivery is very similar as well.
Hmm.
I can sell an 80s, 90s country guy all day long. Maxwell Garza is a great example of that.
Hmm.
He's young, he's very talented, he's got a very developed voice for a young age, or any age anyway. He's got a solid, what I call a rock star voice. He's really good.
Hmm.
And it's easy for me to book him almost anywhere because around here, that's what everybody wants. Not
Yeah.
everybody wants punk or metal or deathcore or God knows what. Even my band is Americana folk, and it doesn't go over well around here. Always, it's something different. So whenever they want something different, that's when they bring us in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
But whenever it's a daily routine, they're gonna want country almost always around here. Now,
Hmm.
some places they want strictly jazz, or some places want R&B. That's their thing,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter if you're good; it just doesn't fit their venue. So I tell a lot of musicians, don't waste time trying to beat down the door of a place that you don't fit. It's not that you're not good enough; it just
Right.
doesn't fit.
Right. Right.
So stop wasting time on that. Put your energy where it's going to go the best.
That's right.
And that's like I said. I tell people that all the time. And it because rejection is not fun at any age. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how long you've been doing it. Rejection sucks, man. You and I both know that. It's just a matter of whether or not you're looking in the wrong place to begin with. You have to know where to go.
Yeah. I've never been rejected in my life, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what rejection feels like. Everybody says yes to everything that I sell, man.
I guarantee you, man. At any given time,
Psych.
anytime you and I talk, it could be 1 in the morning. It could be 8 a.m. It doesn't matter. At any given time, I have at least 100, 200, 300 emails, voice messages. I cast such a wide net
Hmm.
that I face rejection daily, hourly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just one of those things you learn to deal with. I mean, you develop armor skin after a while. It doesn't hurt as bad.
That's right.
It's not as personal. But then you start looking at it. Well, maybe this guy's having a down month, or maybe the last 6 months he's been losing sales because he lost his kitchen manager, or God knows what else. Anything can hurt a business, and people take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you start looking at yourself. You're like, am I asking for too much money? Well, technically, no, I'm not, but it's just not in this dude's budget.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you ask one person, hey, this is what I need to be able to play. And they say, oh, we can't do that. Well, you guys sound great, but we can't do that. And then the next guy, the very next day, you may have tried on this other guy for 3 months in a row. And then this guy, the very next day, the very first time you talk to him, oh, yeah, that's perfect. We'll do it.
Yeah.
It's like that quick.
That's right.
It's so crazy.
You got to go through the numbers, man. That's something that I'm definitely experiencing. But man, you touched on a couple of things, and I gotta hit them like one by one, right? So you talked about
Sure, sure.
how country and Christian music are the easiest things to sell here in Abilene, right? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
I think I saw a post where you were a drummer was it at Mission
yeah.
Abilene?
At Mission Abilene. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
right.
I've
Hallelujah. Thank
well,
you, Jesus.
the kid. Well, well, the kit I'm playing is actually the kit I donated to the church.
Really? See,
So
people,
that's
y'all don't,
I donated that kit.
exactly. See, people don't factor that kind of stuff, right? They look at people who's going to church every Sunday and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but half of those people aren't going to donate their kit. But Mike Casillas, right? Maybe you won't see him up in church every day, but he's the one who donated, right? So boom. What do you got to say about that?
That one right there. It was just my boy Doc Turner. He and I have been friends for a long time. We've been in bands together for a long time, and we were doing a fundraiser that Kinfolk was a part of a while back. Jim Mackey had recruited us into that one, asked if we would play for it. Of course, we donated our time. I think almost everybody else did too, and there was a lot of musicians on stage that day. Great lineups. I mean, all around, and the guys came out with their A games basically. So we were talking, Doc and I, in the parking lot, and he was like, "Hey, do you have any kits, that you would part with?" And I only have a couple, so it's not like I have 12 kits on me. Only got a couple.
Yeah.
And I said, that Pro of mine has been sitting in storage for years, man. It's really not doing much. I said, let me clean it up, and then I'll bring it by. He says, "What do you want for it?" I said, "Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm not looking for anything. I mean, it's been sitting in storage. I've made my money on that kit 1,000 times over. It's recorded a few albums. It's seen the Lukenbach stage. It's seen stages all over Texas, and I'm proud to say that.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? It's just sitting there rotting away, and it's best to go ahead and give it a new home.
Yeah.
Fast forward, where the church actually hit me up, and they were saying, "Hey, we don't have a drummer right now. Would you be interested in filling in?" And there's another drummer, but he's not available till like the 1st of August. So I'm only filling in for a little bit. And I guess if someone needs a time off for a break, I'll fill in there too. I don't mind. It's fun because I get to play with Bill and Doc, both former bandmates of mine from Secondhand Profits, as well as
Oh,
Los Formigos, the original lineup,
yep.
and they're just great dudes, man. So I'll go a long way for thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say thanks for filling in or thanks for the kit, whatever, I know they mean it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where I'm happy to do it. I mean, I have the time, I have the availability. Uh, that style of music is a little different, so it takes me out of my comfort zone, and I'm not doing it for anything other than I get to share the stage with my boys again, and that makes me feel good for doing it. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, let me see if I remember right. Secondhand profits. You were the bus driver. There's the professor. There's the
Yeah,
what am I missing? Right. I have a pretty good memory, but it's
Doc. I think it was Doc, the teacher and the preacher. Or something. I was drinking a lot back in those days. I've forgotten a lot since then.
yeah.
So
Well,
I,
you know
I would
what,
call you up ripped out of my mind.
dude, I gotta say this, man, and I've said this before, and I'm proud. I'm proud that you gave up drinking. I am, but part of me does miss the late night, hey, I need this T-shirt. Part of me misses that, man, because I was like, all right, yeah, whatever you
Yeah,
want. The what was it, the one with the shark fin, and I mean, there's been a bunch of them that you just like in the middle of the night, hey, I need this
yeah,
shirt, and uh,
yeah.
and so I do
I
kind of
still,
miss
yeah,
it. But man, I
yeah,
wouldn't trade that over you not drinking. I just
yeah,
I was joking with you, man. I do kind of miss it a little bit though.
yeah. No, yeah. I have no qualms about that, man. I have no trouble admitting I was drinking pretty heavily, and I was just in a different place back then, and I seem to be in a different place now, and that's kind of where I want to be.
Yeah.
As a lot of these younger musicians are telling me, I'm in my super unk energy, and I
Hmm.
don't really know what that means, but I think it just means I became the wise janitor of the movie that I'm in right now,
Oh.
where I'm just the guy doling out advice. I've spoken to a lot of people over the last couple of years and kind of pointing them in a direction that I think would help them or benefit them. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, dude, I never even thought of that. I never even thought that way. I've never even thought
Hmm.
to try that direction.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things, even with Greybeard, man. There's a lot of things that I don't take credit for, and that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people out there that that I book for, yes, and I put my name all over it, put your name all over it. And then there's a lot of people out there like, do you know any fiddle players? Do you know any so and so players? Do you know any lead players?
Yeah.
And I just happen to know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly out there like, boom, check this out, boom, check this out, boom, check this out. I
Yeah.
remember back in the day, I got my boy Billy Alford, who's recovering from, throat surgery. So shout out to Billy Alford.
Oh.
He was playing with some people that he had never met, just walked up like 5 minutes before the gig because they needed a bass player. I'm like, I can give you a guy that's world renowned and got thousands of hours recording time and can play literally anything with anybody, anytime,
Yeah.
bad enough to where the group Yes
Yeah.
posted one of his songs on their personal page because he was doing a cover of their stuff and he was doing such a badass job that
Mm.
Yes, like, hey, this guy's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was able to put him with a lot of people back in the day, and I do that a lot of times. And those are the ones that are just like the freebies, man. Those is like, well, I just happen to know a guy, and that guy just happens to be great at what he does,
Yeah.
and you should talk to him.
Yeah.
And because I've developed a reputation, people seem to think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just like right now, you and I are talking right now, and I'm going through like a big bout of imposter syndrome right now because I've done interviews like this in the past, and I never feel I feel like I'm faking it the whole time, but in reality, I've actually put in a lot of work over the years
Hmm.
to develop a certain skill set that's helped a lot of people out. But it just feels weird talking about it, with you on the video and all this other stuff. I mean, I can talk to you about it all day in private, but when we go public, it's weird.
Yeah. I was like, you said a couple of words that I've never heard you say in 10 years. I'm like, "Psh, what, he's got a dictionary or something? I've never heard Mike say whatever, astute, or I can't even remember the word you said. I've never heard that word come out of his mouth ever. Look at him, being all a gentleman and a scholar.
My old, well, my old boss at my former company, he used to joke around and say I swallowed the dictionary,
Mm,
and I would always remind him that I am educated. I've got several hundred hours of upper level credit, college hours and whatnot. And of course, I was well read. I may come across as a buffoon sometimes, and that's just because I like to find the humor in
yeah,
almost anything.
yeah,
But in reality, like I said, I have I've got a brain. I can use it. It happens. My wife freaks out from time to time when she realizes I'm using my brain, and it works.
yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. So I do have a question, man. I want to circle back to like your gig, if you want to call it, admission. What is like? What's your favorite Christian song that you played in? I guess recently. I guess.
Um, I guess the more popular one. I mean, don't get me lying to you. Whenever I talk about Christian music, I'm very much a novice at it, so I'm not gonna lie to you on that one.
Yeah.
During our last set there on Sunday, it's that one that Jello Roll does. Hard something Hallelujah. I can't get I'm not getting the name right,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just that one right there. If it's because Jelly Roll is bordering on the Christian,
Yeah.
country scene, and I've actually I got to I guess meet him 3 years ago
Yeah.
when he was a 500-pound guy,
Yeah.
and he put on one hell of a show, and there's no question about that. I mean, he puts on a great show. But that one right there, out of the 5 or 6 songs that we did, that one stuck out to the most to me. It's just really strong. The original version has a really great chorus in it, and has a gospel, background to everything with all the backup singers. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's just strong, man. It's
Yeah.
like, even if you aren't a church goer, or even if you're not leaning that way, man, it does something about getting into your heart, man. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's a powerful song, man.
so
When I
I
first
don't
heard
I don't
that,
have
it's a good song.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and it
when I first heard it,
so late.
I think when I first heard it, man, I was outside. I was wrapping a trailer, and I don't think things were really going my way. I was struggling on a panel, and then that song played, and I was like, "What is? Let me listen to this thing." And then I was like, "Man, this is a good
Yeah,
song." I didn't even realize it was on the Christian set. I think it might have been playing on the regular radio or something. But it was
yeah.
a good song. Good
It
song.
it kind of it kind of it kind of you can kind of go in both ways. And there are songs that I've listened to in the past that were either gospel or whatnot, and the combinations of the vocals with the drums killing it, and
Yeah.
hard bass lines and stuff, is really cool to listen to. um but as a fan aspect, would you go pay to see that? You
Yeah.
appreciate it in its presence,
Yeah.
but would you go pay to see that? I personally, I would not.
Yeah.
It's just not what drives me. Now,
Yeah.
I can respect it,
Hmm.
but it's just not what drives me. Now, would I go pay to see Jelly Roll again? Yes, of course I would.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been going around. It's been funny because the last couple of weeks I've been blasting. I'm practicing about 5 or 6 songs a week, for whatever we got going, on service. So um, I'm not really paying attention too much to as a drummer. I don't really pay too much attention to uh, the titles of the songs, which I should pay more attention to. But all have to hear is one note, or the way someone sings something, and I know where we are,
Yeah.
because you have to memorize a lot of dynamics, build ups, pauses, where to play, where not to play, and that's what I memorize because I have enough going on in my head.
Yeah. Well, be careful, man, because music is spiritual in nature, and you
Oh
just
yeah,
never know. You might get hooked, and you be coming over to Team Jesus, and we'll have to schedule another video to talk about that, right? But man, I just like first of all, I mean, not first of all, last of all, or now of all. Thank you for thank you for joining me, man, for just being willing to sit here and just talk about some stuff. What I thought is that there's a lot of stories out there that are not being told, and I want to try to line up as many people from as many different like walks of life, and just talk about whatever's important to them. You know what I mean? And it's like anything that I can do like that. This doesn't really cost me nothing but my time, And who knows? Someone might be scrolling and
hmm
they may hear something that you said that'll encourage them to start booking for themselves, or maybe ask different questions to make sure that they
hmm
do, get on the stage and things like that. And you just never really know.
hmm
And so that's one of the things that we started doing. I do a blog post every day, and I was like, I'm going to start trying to bring some of those conversations, live so that people can hear it. And then, like, man, just like with you, and there's been several people. I'm actually booking for this thing right here already into the end of August, and I haven't even been trying. Um, I'm like, okay, well, let's
yeah,
see how it goes, and it's fun to me because, I mean, I like hearing people's stories anyway. So thank you for joining
yeah.
us.
Well, definitely, yeah. Well, definitely, appreciate you having me, man. It's a personal thing. I don't do this often, and it's one of those things, like you said earlier. If it's you, so if
Yeah,
you ask me, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
yeah,
I don't really hesitate. Some people, you have to trust that they're wanting your they don't want to hurt you.
Right.
You have to hope that they don't want to have at you.
Yeah.
So I don't have any problem with that. One thing I definitely want to touch on before we go is two things when it comes to music, man. These are behind the scenes stuff. It's not easy for sure. It's
Right.
very hard. It's hard for dealing. A friend, a new friend of mine recently was basically in tears the other day on a post of hers where she was talking about the blow off or this, that, and the other when it comes to music and how she struggles. She's married. I don't believe she has kids, but she's married,
Yeah.
and so being away from your family, whether it's your husband, your wife, whatever, it's hard.
Yeah.
It pulls from the family dynamic,
Yeah.
and it's hard to put. A lot of people out there when they get involved with a musician, they're like, "Oh, my man plays bass, or my man sings, or my man does it, whatever." It's cool for a little while,
Yeah.
and then you realize how obsessed most of us are, and
Mm-hmm.
we are truly obsessed with it. It's probably our very first love, and it remains ahead of almost everything.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that take time off. I took 10 years off
Yeah.
from playing music in my 20s because I was prioritizing raising my family and raising my kids, and I couldn't be out there gigging. I didn't, and I was working three jobs, so I was never available. And then the kids started growing up, and they could be on their own a little bit more, or they didn't really need me around that much.
Yeah.
And I started playing, and luckily I've been able to continue playing for almost 20 years now,
Yeah.
since laying off. But it's very personal. It's hard on spouses, girlfriends, husbands, wives, you name it. It's hard on them.
Yeah.
So it's more important than ever to go out and support somebody who's 500 miles from home
Yeah.
or has been gone all weekend because that's how he or she makes a living.
Yeah.
And it may be a $20 cap or a $10 tip or God knows whatever, but you don't realize how much they appreciate that, how much I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And when I'm buying merch from you, that's an investment in hopefully my success,
Yeah.
that I'm going to be able to return that and make a profit out of it, because your friends, your family, everybody, oh, can I get one? Can I get one? And I'm like, dude, they weren't free to me, man.
Yeah.
I sell it to you, I'll give you a discount. And like, you and I have been doing business for like, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think to this day, I don't think I've ever asked you for a discount ever. I'm like, hey, man, just do the best you can for me. If you can do the best, that's your best, and that's what
Yeah.
I'll take.
Yeah.
And I don't like to push my friends that way.
Yeah.
And but that's really what I want before I got off. Well, I wanted to make sure that I put that out there, that hey, man, we're not robots, we're humans, and we have feelings, and we care a lot about what we do.
Yeah.
You talked about one thing about the X's and O's behind the scenes. You
Yeah.
don't realize how many thousands of times someone's played a song or practiced guitars or changed strings or heads or things that they say you got to do something 10,000 hours to be a master of it. I've
Yeah.
gone way beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where a lot of my friends have too,
Yeah.
and people I don't even know, they've all done that. So it's just one of those things, we devote our lives to it, and we just hope for an hour or two you appreciate what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know that I have a even more respect for you now, just kind of hearing some of the things that you have to go through, and the time that you took off from your family, and then you're kind of like, I mean, I get it because that's what I'm doing, man. I'm chasing a dream, just like you're chasing a dream, and in that we kind of share those things in common. It's like it's hard on the people who it's not necessarily their dream, you know, and and so I feel you there
Yeah,
because it's my dream, but my wife supports me, and so if it were up to her, we'd both
yeah,
have 9 to 5 jobs and off on the weekends, and get off at 5 o'clock, and that's it, you know. But she happened to marry
yeah,
someone who had different plans, and here we are. Here we are.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's good that you got that, man. It
yeah.
takes two, man. It's hard.
It does. It does. Well, cool, man. I'd love to sit here and cry with you the rest of the night, but we're gonna go get some dinner. We're watching that show, The Bear, so I'm excited to. Something you said reminded me of that about about the food and stuff like that. I was like, I'm gonna watch a couple episodes of The Bear. That's a pretty good show.
Sounds good, man. All right. Well, appreciate your time and thanks for having me on.
Same here, Mike. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So we just had Mike Casillas with Greybeard Entertainment just join us. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. It was definitely something that meant a lot to me. Mike, like what we said, is we've been friends for a while, like 10 years plus. He's done a lot of business. A lot of the bands that he's worked with, he's referred them over to us, to print their merch. Tip the virtual tip jar that we print, which is an 11 by 17 sign, and it has the QR codes that are linked to the musician's account, so that way people can go and scan and send a tip instead of having an actual jar. That's what the musicians are doing now, the virtual tip jar, and so it's just kind of things like that. But it's good to hear from him, because he has been in the music scene here in Abilene for as long as I can know. And I'd like to sit here and say that I've been one of his best fans, showing up to everything. But him and a couple of friends that would invite us all the time, and I'm like, man, by the time I get through work, on the weekend, I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to just chill. But he's right. He's right. There are people out there that are chasing their dreams, and that's something that I myself, I'm like, what, I can sacrifice, a day, a couple of hours, right? To support somebody, especially if they're a friend of mine, to support them in their chase, in their pursuit of their own dream, because that's what my customers are to me. They're people who are supporting me because of what we're doing, and the products that we sell is just a byproduct, right? It just so happens that we own a print shop, but a lot of people do business with us. We have a long-standing relationship with, and I call them friends. I don't just consider them customers, and that's just the way we do it. But I tell you what, if you are a venue out there, and maybe you're new to Abilene, and you're trying to get connected with the right people, follow us on social media. If it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and you'll see a post from Greybeard Entertainment. Mike is really good at making sure that he posts on social media, and supporting, promoting the musicians that are part of Greybeard Entertainment, getting them booked and all that stuff. And we're honored to be listed as the sponsor for all of these posts. So if you're a musician out there and you're connected in any way to them, just know that whenever you come to do business with us, we're going to help you out, the best that we can, and make sure that you're looking good out there, with the merch. And hopefully you guys got some really cool designs, so that way people will buy it all up from you. And but yeah, we're just kind of a silent partner, behind the scenes partner in the music industry to several bands that are out there, and mainly because of Mike. He has introduced us, to a lot of people. If you're a venue, if you're a musician, and you don't have someone that's going to go to bat for you, connect with Mike, connect with Greybeard. And like he said, he can't represent everybody, but he might be able to give you a couple pointers to help you do it yourself. And you never know, maybe he might help you get your foot in the door in some of the local venues, and go from there. But like, if you're a venue, did you hear what Mike was saying? These are some things that, in my opinion, if I was gonna start up a new business, and we were going to, we got the food, we got the alcohol, and all that, we would consider. I think that it's smart to consider some live music, because I know for a fact, whenever I go to a restaurant or any type of place. We went to Potosi Live not too long ago, for a deal with the Salvation Army, And the bands, man, I was like, hey, I don't normally drink, but I'm gonna go ahead and have me another beer, right? And so it's just something that music does to me, you know. And so if it does it to me, it's gonna do it to the rest of your customers. And so connect with us right here, because you never know when you might see a post of a musician that might fit with the vibe that you're going for in your venue. And connect with Greybeard Entertainment as well, because they might be able to kind of link you up with the right people as well. But that's really all for now. One last thing: if you're a company, or if you're a local artist, or if you're someone that has a story that you want to just talk about, connect with us and let's get you on the calendar for our next behind the X's and O's live stream. We do these every Wednesday. This month we're going to be every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We're going to have a new guest. This week I got to give a quick plug. This week we're doing another one on Friday at 6 o'clock. We got my man TJ Templeton, salesman from Kent Beck Motors here in Abilene. TJ's gonna sit down and talk with me about the process of buying a car. So if you're someone that is looking for a new vehicle, maybe it's your first time buying a new vehicle, and you need some advice, or you just need to hear somebody who is going to take care of you, my man TJ Templeton is the guy. We actually bought our car not too long ago from TJ, and so we'll definitely talk about that on Friday. But if you're someone out there that is looking to maybe connect with us so that we can talk about your story, whether it's your business or it doesn't matter. I think I can talk about pretty much any subject, right? And just send me a message, and then we'll get you on the schedule. We're already booking into August, like I said earlier, but maybe towards the end of August or early September, we can get you on, and we're gonna roll just as long as people want to talk with me. But that's Ruben Escalona with Behind the X's and O's. I'm signing off for now, and we'll see you on the next one.